Making his entrance now is a competitor that over the past year has held the Raw World Championship on 2 occasions and has led the most dominant faction in Universe Mode, the head of the Shadows of Agony. This is Aleister Black. And cast your minds back over the course of this year. Seth Rollins defeating Pentagon Jr. in the main event of WrestleMania last year, retaining the Raw World Championship and defending that title at Backlash against Aleister Black, but being met with a black mass. Ending Seth Rollins' 234-day reign with the championship was Aleister Black. And tonight he goes into a dream matchup that we never thought we'd see. Making his first time appearance in Universe Mode to take on Aleister Black. It's going to be the legendary Icon. A legend in his own time, still wrestling to this day. He is Keiji Muto, otherwise known as the Great Muta. And a very ominous presence being felt here at WrestleMania, but Aleister Black, no stranger to this kind of ominous, bizarre, and creepy presence. And here we see the legend, Great Muta, coming down the ramp. His first ever appearance here in Universe Mode. And what a grand entrance he is making, instilling fear within most opponents, but Aleister Black is one who I'm not sure will be affected in the same caliber as many other men. Now we see Aleister Black prepped in the corner, Great Muta on the other side. The referee signaling for the bell, and we are getting started in this contest. Aleister Black quickly looking for that hatch suplex, but the strikes countering out of it is the Great Muta. Now implores a front chancery, following it up with a dragon screw leg whip that he's famously known for. Elbow strikes now to Aleister Black, looking to incapacitate the legs of Aleister Black, the well-educated legs that Aleister Black likes to utilize. Now we see Great Muta locking in that sharpshooter or figure 4 clutch and then falling back on it. What a unique, and Great Muta being known for his unique offense, his unpredictable nature. And as a maneuver that I wasn't expecting to see in this contest, but the Great Muta now with a big back body drop to Aleister Black. And for Great Muta to be putting on this display with a sliding clothesline that takes down Aleister Black as he was in a kneeling position. A 1 count, but Aleister Black quickly getting his shoulder up. It's going to take more than that for Aleister Black to stay down in this contest, as this will be a showcase and a display of what Aleister Black has, how much Aleister Black has grown over the past 365 days since last year's WrestleMania, as I mentioned, back at Backlash, defeating Seth Rollins to capture the Raw World Heavyweight Championship, as we see a hanging dragon sleeper here in the corner, a maneuver that we've seen from the Great Muta on occasion. Aleister Black, knowing that hold could only be employed for a few seconds before the rope break. Now a kick to the face from Aleister Black, a kick to the leg, following it up, and now a series of kicks and elbow combination from Aleister Black. Great Muta, however, quickly getting back up to his feet, however, using the ropes for leverage. Big boot countered by the Great Muta, able to evade that attack and send Aleister Black to the outside on that boot attempt. Muta now from the inside going to look for a springboard plancha clothesline to the outside, but Aleister Black quickly getting back up to his feet before Muta could connect with that springboard on the outside. Black now. Fisherman locking him up for the key crusher. Fisherman Buster. And Aleister Black, after beating Seth Rollins at Backlash, held on to that Raw World Championship for 70 days before losing the championship at SummerSlam to Pete Dunne. For 37 days, Pete Dunne held that championship until the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And at that time, Aleister Black enlisting the help of Darby Allin and Nigel McGuinness. Pop-up Meteora now from Aleister Black, continuing on in this contest. And once Aleister Black aligned with the Shadows of Agony, being Nigel McGuinness and Darby Allin, he was able to recapture the Raw World Championship for 83 days before losing it to Kazuchika Okada at New Year's Revolution within the Elimination Chamber matchup. Now we're looking for that running knee strike in the corner. It's countered by the Great Muta, who answers back with a just tossing Aleister Black all the way across the ring with that back suplex throw. Now a boot to the face that levels Aleister Black, flattening him out on the canvas. And now Muta, what could he be looking for here? A headbutt to the midsection on Aleister Black. Aleister Black, a man we've seen in so many championship matchups throughout the course of this year. As I mentioned, the match with Seth Rollins. Oh, and a rolling heel kick off of the ropes from the Great Muta. Pinfall attempt here, but a kick out before he could get the pinfall. The Great Muta now going up to the top rope, gonna look for something here, diving down on Aleister Black, but Black able to counter out of the way. Aleister Black, a man who we saw over the past year defend his championship against numerous contenders, including Dominik Dijakovic back at Extreme Rules. We saw defending, backbreaker, defends unsuccessfully against Pete Dunne, however, at SummerSlam, but nonetheless being in a World Championship match at a big show like SummerSlam. Going on to Hell in a Cell, defeating Pete Dunne in the rematch that the two men shared at Hell in a Cell. And we see Aleister Black sitting down in position. Aleister Black going on to defend the rights of Raw in the World Heavyweight Championship match that he had with Drew McIntyre and Jay White, the other world champions at the time from the other shows. A series of clotheslines and a super kick from Aleister Black that sends the Great Muta to the outside. Aleister Black would go on to that New Year's Revolution event to defend unsuccessfully again his World Championship in that Elimination Chamber 6-man matchup featuring contenders such as Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, John Morrison, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the current champion Kazuchika Okada. And then going into the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Oh, here we see, pausing for a moment, we see the Muta lock being implored by the Great Muta, and this could spell the end for Aleister Black. Despite all the accolades that I have been boasting over Aleister Black throughout the course of this year, he could be submitting here to the legendary Great Muta if he submits to this hold, but no, he breaks the hold. Aleister Black still capable, but now we see a combination of kicks from the Great Muta, following it up with a scorpion kick to the face of Aleister Black that absolutely gushes open his face, following it up with a Emerald Flosion from the Great Muta. The offense that we're seeing now from Muta as he goes to the top rope, following it up with a moonsault. Pinfall attempt here from Muta. 1, 2, and no. Aleister Black gets the shoulder up despite the scorpion kick that busted open Aleister Black. And now we see the combination that Black used earlier in this contest. Now it is Muta being the one to utilize it. Now stripping away the turnbuckle pad is Muta, which distracts the referee here for the time being. Strike to the face now from Muta. Uppercut now to follow it up. Oh, and we see Aleister Black, fireman's carry position, roundhouse kick. Aleister Black now positioning himself in the corner, could be looking for the bicycle knee strike. Absolutely flattening the Great Muta, and now going for the pinfall attempt here. 1, 2, and no. How on earth did the Great Muta get the shoulder up after that running knee strike that looked like it absolutely decimated the face of Muta? However, it's hard to tell the effects considering the mask that is covering the face of Muta. We can see the scars over the face of Aleister Black, and now being hit with the same maneuver that lacerated him earlier in this contest. Oh, and now being sent into the exposed turnbuckle at the hands of Muta is Aleister Black. Once again being sent into the buckle. Series of elbow strikes now from Muta. Looks to go high risk up to the top rope. Going for that moonsault again. Following it up with a second moonsault despite Aleister Black rolling out of the way. Now the pinfall attempt to kick out at 2. And Muta cannot believe it. Once again gonna go look for the moonsault. Absolutely insane onslaught of attacks here from the great Muta. Oh, and now we see a cutter from Aleister Black. Pinfall attempt here. Muta within reach of the ropes, but no, getting the shoulder up and getting the 2 count. Black now employing the body scissors on the ground. Now that I finally have a moment to catch my breath, back elbows from Muta. As I was saying earlier, Aleister Black challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship again against Brock Lesnar and Kazuchika Okada at the Royal Rumble. Now a knee strike from Black. Sent it to the exposed turnbuckle, and also the referee being knocked out. Now in the corner. Aleister Black now roundhouse, getting him with the black mass. Referee just barely getting up in time now. If he could count for the fall, this might be it for the great Muta. 1, 2, and 3. Aleister Black securing his victory with that black mass spinning heel kick. But that's not to say that he's not walking away from this match with absolute battle scars and wounds. Facing off against the great Muta and putting him away in convincing fashion. We saw this bicycle knee strike that absolutely destroyed the great Muta. But it was the black mass that secured the fall. And after a year of reigns from the shadows of agony over Monday Night Raw, you gotta think that the black mass securing the victory over a legend like the great Muta is a sweet taste of victory for Aleister Black.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
We now introduce the Royal Rumble winner this year. Actually, apologies. He was the man to secure the Royal Rumble, the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble for Monday Night Raw, following the situation that we had at Survivor Series where each brand was tied at 4 wins apiece that night. We continued on to pay-per-view events where we saw triple threat competition to see who would face each other the night before the Royal Rumble at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. And on that night, we saw an incredible triple threat matchup featuring members of each 3 brands, that being Hideo Itami, the man we see in front of us, Adam Cole, and Bandito. But it was Hideo Itami who was victorious at NXT TakeOver Rumble. He went on to go into the actual Royal Rumble match at number 30, but being eliminated finally by Mil Muertes. And now going on to challenge the world champion despite that, considering his fatal 4-way victory back at Fastlane over Andrade Cien Almas, Pete Dunne, and Aleister Black. Hideo Itami secured his match against the man we see before us, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Okada, a man who has defeated the likes of Aleister Black, John Morrison, Shinsuke Nakamura on 2 occasions, Brock Lesnar on 2 occasions. Now showing off the championship for all to see. A dominant champion on Monday Night Raw since defeating Aleister Black at New Year's Revolution in that Elimination Chamber matchup. We have seen Kazuchika Okada hold that Raw World Championship for 106 days, and he knows that after tonight, that championship will be rebranded as the IWGP World Championship. And to be the first man to carry the IWGP World Championship would mean a lot to Kazuchika Okada. So going into this matchup, he has a vendetta against Hideo Itami. Hideo very successful this year in Universe Mode, however not capturing a single championship throughout the duration of Universe Mode so far, but finding himself in the main event against a man who is the Rainmaker and the current Raw World Champion, Kazuchika Okada.
Introducing the challenger from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 180 pounds, Hideo Itami. Introducing the champion from Japan, weighing in at 236 pounds, he is the world heavyweight champion.
It is an impressive feat to say that Hideo Itami has achieved this championship match here tonight. I mentioned earlier that he is very successful throughout this year in Universe Mode despite never holding a championship. His history tracks back to Survivor Series where he was able to secure a victory for Monday Night Raw within that event, going on then to be the representative of Monday Night Raw who got to challenge for the Royal Rumble spot. Now we see these two locking up in the center of the ring. Okada using his power advantage to send Hideo Itami back to the corner, and now the referee looking to break these two up, and we see a clean break between these two. There's respect between the two men that we see within the ring. However, Hideo Itami very clearly desperate for that championship that Okada currently holds. Now wrenching in on the hammerlock, a reversal. Now go behind from Hideo Itami, who has him in the hammerlock. Strike to the back, a bit of disrespect here from Hideo Itami, which is not something that is uncommon in his arsenal. Now once again we see the lockup, and here we see Okada once again forcing Hideo into the corner. The referee now again looking to break up this hold, and now we see a strike from Hideo Itami. Again the disrespect, strike back from Okada. And this is bringing out a side of these two men, a frustration between these two men. Itami going to the outside on the apron, and now with that running knee lift to Kazuchika Okada. I was expecting a turn of events here earlier in the contest, and now sending him into the turnbuckle pad. And as Okada came rebounding out of the turnbuckle, Itami caught him coming in with that kick, looking for the power slam. However, Okada able to escape out with that reverse DDT. Okada now positioning Itami for that clubbing strike that brings him back down to the ground. A kick to the back, and now wrenching the neck of Itami is Kazuchika Okada. Pinfall attempt here, and we've seen the methodical nature of Okada. However, we've seen him go in there against opponents such as Brock Lesnar and Aleister Black, a man who we saw in our last contest. We've seen what he did against the Great Muta, how quickly he can annihilate an opponent. However, that just speaks to the capabilities of Okada, that he has been able to sustain such a long title reign despite all the challengers within Raw. And after Itami has had the year that he has had, a hip toss now and a running knee strike that we saw earlier tonight from Io Shirai. Itami now utilizing the same kinds of maneuvers to try and secure himself the championship here tonight Big back body drop to follow it up from Itami. Now picks Okada back up to his feet. Looks for that roundhouse kick, but it's a big boot counter from Kazuchika Okada. Following it up with that, looking for that senton, but the knees up in time from Hideo Itami. A slap to the face, a forearm strike, and now a spinning back fist that absolutely floors Kazuchika Okada. Now a DDT to follow it up from Okada. And Itami certainly making his statement here tonight, but he's going to have to quell the early natures of Kazuchika Okada, following it up with that air raid crash neck breaker across the knee. And now the pinfall attempt here from Itami, but Itami refusing to stay down, considering everything that he has done, the road that he has taken to get here. German suplex, bridging attempt here, but the pinfall is broken up by a rope break that Okada gets from reaching his hands underneath the bottom rope. Itami now going to follow Kazuchika Okada out to the apron and drop him down with a back suplex that brings the spine right across the hardest part of the ring, the apron on the outside. Now Itami sending Okada twice over into the barricade. Okada trying to mount some kind of offense, getting back inside the ring, back where Okada knows he's going to be a lot more safe, but Itami now catching him with a strike, springboarding in with that front dropkick, however. Now Hideo Itami looking for people to respect him and disrespecting Okada while he was at it. Pinfall attempt now off that disrespectful swipe of the face. Earlier this year we saw, and a knee strike. Earlier last year, I should say, towards the end of last year. My apologies. At New Year's Revolution, at the beginning of this year in January, we saw Andrade Cien Almas, Nigel McGuinness, a representative of the Shadows of Agony, and Hideo Itami in that triple threat eliminator to see who would be the number 30 Royal Rumble entrant qualifier. And it was in that match that Hideo Itami proved his spot. Back suplex now from Itami. Proved his spot to challenge at NXT Rumble, in which he faced off against Adam Cole and Bandito, two other men who appeared in that Royal Rumble matchup. However, Hideo Itami successful in his endeavor, earning himself that number 30 spot, having to contest with the man of 1,000 deaths, Mil Muertes from SmackDown, the eventual winner. However, both men landing themselves championship matches here at WrestleMania, despite the fact that Itami was unsuccessful at the Royal Rumble. He had a fatal 4-way matchup at Fastlane. Now we see the Rainmaker potentially signaling for the finish here. Oh no, looking for the forearm smash. Now a reversal from the German suplex as the kip up on Kazuchika Okada, catching the leg, but he catches an enziguri for his efforts instead. Getting back up to his feet now is Okada, who gets sent into the turnbuckle pad. Itami now, series of machine gun chops, going faster and faster, chopping the chest of Kazuchika Okada. One more, and no, he stops short, punches him in the face. And the crowd absolutely devastated by the display of disrespect that Hideo Itami has shown Kazuchika Okada in this matchup, and that is just fueling their support for the Rainmaker further and further, seeing the side of Itami that he is showing here. But you got to understand the level of desperation that he has for that championship. Simultaneously, the kitchen sink from Hideo Itami throwing everything he has at him, but the big boot from Kazuchika Okada is what levels Hideo Itami for the time being. Okada once again going to wrench down on that neck, clapping and calling Hideo Itami back up to his feet, almost mocking this man. Oh, and the rolling lariat. That rolling lariat absolutely leveled Hideo Itami, and only a 1 count. Kazuchika Okada cannot believe the referee only reached the count of 1 before Hideo Itami got the shoulder up. And now it appears that Okada priming Hideo Itami in position for the Rainmaker. It's reversed by a standing switch from Hideo Itami. A series of back elbows now from Okada, and he could be looking for the Rainmaker lariat, but it's Hideo Itami who rebounds off the ropes, catches a slap to the face and a forearm smash for his efforts. Kazuchika Okada finalizing that exchange with that back suplex backbreaker. Absolutely divides Hideo Itami. Pinfall attempt here to follow it up. Once again, Itami kicking out at the count of 1, and that just shows the fight, the determination that Itami has to earn championships within Universe Mode. Okada now wrenching in on this hold. Once again, forcing the knee into the back of Hideo Itami. And Itami forcing his way back up to his feet now and is able to fight back out of it. Sending Okada for a ride. Series of kicks to the face, and that last shot was enough to bust open the face of Kazuchika Okada. A reoccurring theme throughout the night. We have seen many competitors here tonight get busted open, and Kazuchika Okada, another one that we can add to that list. And now a knee strike across the back, absolutely devastating from Okada, who we see now going to the top rope, a position we don't see often from him, but he looks for the diving elbow from the top rope. No water in the pool, however, as drop toe hold to Hideo Itami from Kazuchika Okada is able to shift the momentum back in his favor, sending him into the turnbuckle and following him in. Kick to the back, however, Itami back up to his feet, a chop to the face, and now a series of strikes, a combination. Series of kicks now to the chest of Okada, spinning back kick to the chest that puts him down. Now the Rainmaker being pulled into position by Hideo Itami, who looks to go all the way up to the top rope and potentially going to dive down here with a diving double stomp to the gut of Kazuchika Okada, crawling desperately back into position for the pinfall here, and he only gets a 2 count from the referee. Stomp to the back now from Hideo Itami as he starts to choke the life from Kazuchika Okada. Now the legs in position, going to stomp across the chest of Okada and showing that no matter what it takes in this matchup from Okada, Hideo Itami is not going to be one to give up very easily. Another kitchen sink as the abdominal region of Kazuchika Okada has certainly been a target of Hideo Itami in the later stages of this matchup. Oh no, following it up off the second rope with a King Kong knee strike across the already bloodied face of Kazuchika Okada. And that just goes back to the disrespect and the aggression that we have seen from Hideo Itami throughout the duration of this match, absolutely disregarding the fact that Kazuchika Okada now sending to the outside and catching him with that Gamagiri as Okada looked to get in position, now looking to come in with that springboard front dropkick. Okada now with the advantage, however, rolling clothesline once again, getting all the momentum built up for that spinning clothesline that takes Hideo Itami out, but not out for the count, as he is able to once again get the shoulder up at the count of 1, and it appears that we are still in the early stages of this matchup, despite the grueling nature of what these two have put each other through already. But we've seen here tonight that every competitor is looking to show out for WrestleMania and put on the absolute best showcase of their capabilities now. So Okada with the fireman's carry, lifting him up for, I forget the name of that move, but something rain. It's something rain. Rainfall maybe? I think it's rainfall, but it's a fireman's carry neckbreaker. Kazuchika Okada now sending him to the outside. Tope con hilo onto Hideo Itami. Kick to the gut, forearm smash, a series of forearms on the outside. Hideo catching that one and sending Kazuchika Okada, the champion, into those steel steps. Now it's Itami returning within the ring, asking for the fans to respect him, and you gotta respect the accomplishments of Hideo Itami over the past year. Everything he did to secure that championship match at WrestleMania that he did. Whether it be representing at Survivor Series, whether it be securing the number 30 Royal Rumble spot, whether it be the fact that he won that fatal 4-way match, and now we see a strike to the back of Okada, and Itami with him in position, the running boot, sandwiching the boot of Hideo Itami in between Kazuchika Okada and that turnbuckle. 7, the count of 8, and Hideo Itami telling everybody to respect him as Kazuchika Okada desperately getting back up to his feet at the count of 8. Hideo Itami returning to the outside and knowing that if he doesn't get Kazuchika Okada back within the ring, he cannot secure that championship here tonight. Which he does so. Now Hideo Itami returning within the ring, across the ring from Kazuchika Okada, and gets a running start so he can hit him with that kitchen sink. Knee strike again to the abdomen of Kazuchika Okada, a man who desperately using the ropes just to get back up to his feet here. Now guillotined across the bottom rope at the hands of Itami, who is dishing out a great deal of punishment right now to Kazuchika Okada. Okada now in the corner, receives a forearm smash. Hideo Itami looking to get a running start and does shotgun knee strikes that sends Okada back into the corner. Now Hideo Itami once again going to keep up the momentum with that running knee strike in the corner. Pinfall attempt here from Hideo Itami, and this might be it for Kazuchika Okada, but no, just barely getting the shoulder up. After all the damage to the midsection to the head of Kazuchika Okada throughout this matchup, Hideo Itami might have put himself in direct position to win that championship. Now the King Kong diving knee strikes from the top, but is countered by Kazuchika Okada, who now nails a vertical leaping senton. Pinfall attempt there from Okada, but it is kicked out by Hideo. He's now lifted back up to his feet by Okada. European uppercut from Okada, but now a kick from Hideo Itami. Strikes back and forth from both men. Irish whip counter from Kazuchika Okada, who looks to send Hideo into the corner. It's a counter from Hideo. Gets him up on his shoulders. Could be looking for the GTS here. Connecting with the GTS. However, Kazuchika Okada's hand was underneath the bottom rope just in time for that pinfall attempt. And that prevents Hideo Itami from securing that pinfall. Now dragging Kazuchika Okada away from the ropes, looking for the pinfall off the GTS. However, Okada getting the shoulder up. That is no surprise considering the hesitation after that rope break. Now a clothesline again from Kazuchika Okada that takes down Hideo Itami. Picking Hideo back up to his feet, looking for that rolling clothesline counter from Hideo, who looks to get him up once again for the fireman's carry GTS, but Kazuchika Okada still on his feet, rebounding off of the ropes and catching him with coming in with that roundhouse kick. Hideo Itami now looking for the pinfall. 1, 2, and no! How close was that? The second time that Hideo connected with the GTS in this contest, and I thought that might have secured the pin following that roundhouse kick. Hideo clearly thinking so too. However, the referee only counting for 2, as Hideo once again sending Kazuchika Okada into the turnbuckle pad, this time doing enough damage to keep Kazuchika Okada down for the count for the time being. Tommy now positioning Okada on the ground, elevated stomp to the chest, designed to take the air and the wind out of the sails of Kazuchika Okada, the air out of the lungs. If he can do that, he can potentially secure the victory, because Okada has the absolute best cardio and best adrenaline within the sport. German suplex now from Okada, who was able to escape the advantage that Hideo had with him on the top rope. Series of German suplexes, following it up with a third German suplex from Kazuchika Okada. Fireman's carry position now from Okada. Hideo Itami absolutely dazed and no position, getting a series of elbow strikes that secure him an exit from Kazuchika Okada's clutches. A strike back from Okada that now sends Hideo Itami to the outside. Okada once again getting a running start, looking for another tope con hilo to the outside. Getting a running start to dive over the top rope. Hideo barely catching him, but all of that weight coming down from the champion. Two men fighting back and forth on the outside now with the hammerlock position behind. Looking for that spinning back fist was Hideo Itami, but now he is sent into those steel steps. Referee at a count of 5 now. See a boot attempt, reversing it into a dragon screw from Hideo. create a count of 6. Hideo returning within the ring, but he knows that he has to get back on the outside and continue the attack on Kazuchika Okada because he cannot accept a count-out victory here tonight. Okada returning within the ring and catching a big boot on Hideo Itami that sends him spilling to the outside. We've reached over the 20-minute mark in this matchup. And it's just a sign of what these two are willing to go through for that championship here tonight. The Raw World Championship, a title that Kazuchika Okada has coveted ever since winning it. But Hideo Itami potentially the biggest challenger and biggest contender on the biggest stage for Okada here tonight. Itami now being sent to the outside on the apron. But it's Okada with a drop kick that sends Itami down to the floor. Now we see Kazuchika Okada positioning Hideo Itami on the barricade for a series of strikes. And Okada has been no stranger to championship gold within universe mode. He was previously in 2k18 on the SmackDown brand. He was the television champion, having held that championship for 191 days before losing it to Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match. That being at last year's WrestleMania, Kazuchika Okada defending the television title against Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. Unsuccessful in his championship match last year, looking to right that wrong here tonight. Oh, and a running start for that forearm smash that Hideo Itami is able to nail, coming off of the apron. Now picking him back up and sending him back inside the ring is Itami. Itami calling him back up to his feet here. Diving down with that front drop kick from the top rope, catching the boots across the face of Okada. Now twisting him around for that DDT. After the championship loss from Okada last year, it is very necessary that he wins here tonight for the sake of his championship integrity. Series of boots now from Okada to a grounded Hideo. Hideo, however, lifting Okada up after the rebound off of the ropes. He has him in position. Fireman's carry. GTS! Knee to the face of Kazuchika Okada. But Hideo Itami not finished, picking Kazuchika Okada back up to his feet now with a clothesline. A second clothesline, but Kazuchika Okada back up to his feet simultaneously. Fired up Hideo Itami has come here tonight to capture that championship by any means. You can see the wounds on the face of Kazuchika Okada show that Hideo Itami will do whatever he can to make sure he leaves tonight with that championship. Standing switch in the corner now, which we see a running start from Hideo with those running shotgun knee strikes. Now Hideo telling Kazuchika Okada from halfway across the ring that he will respect him, running for that hesitation dropkick in the corner, but Kazuchika Okada able to counter out of it. Rolling clothesline that absolutely flattens and folds up Hideo. Okada now showing the crowd the face of Hideo Itami, showing him the man that he is looking to put away here, following that absolutely deadly clothesline. Now for the first time in this match, the Rainmaker connecting with the Rainmaker Lariat. Pinfall attempt here from Kazuchika Okada. 1, 2, and no, Hideo. Hideo will refuse any claim for Kazuchika Okada. For him to stay down now, air raid crash, following it up with the neck breaker again. We see Kazuchika Okada going for that maneuver in this contest. Kick to the head of Hideo Itami. Now reversal on that drop toe hold. Itami now with Kazuchika Okada positioned on the second rope. Hideo Itami looking to go to the top rope. telling the fans exactly what he's going to do here. He's waiting for Kazuchika Okada to get in position. Okada now moving out of position as Hideo drops down to the apron. Hot shot to counter out of it. Now springing in with that elbow drop. Pointed elbow drop from Hideo Itami. Irish whip sending Kazuchika Okada into the corner, following it up with that spinning back fist. And now counter from Okada for that fireman's carry takeover. Okada now, however, positioning Hideo Itami on the ropes to Irish whip him across the ring. Counter from Hideo. No, it's Okada who catches the leg and leg drops across the knee. Okada looking to take advantage from that same position, but it is Hideo Itami who catches in with the boot across the face. Irish whip from Itami, sending Kazuchika Okada across the ring. Locking up in the middle, the two-man arm, but the back elbow from Okada. That's what stops that exchange for the time being. Now the knee strike, the knee across the back of the neck of Hideo Itami. Itami being picked up and now hit with a European uppercut from Okada, who now once again got to get him in the air raid crash neck breaker. Destroying the neck here of Hideo Itami, following it up with a rainfall pinfall attempt here. 1, 2, and another near fall for Hideo Itami. Despite Okada's best efforts, Itami still getting the shoulder up now. Locking in this hold, driving the knee into the back of Hideo Itami. And crossing the arms for the straitjacket. Itami sending him off. Looking to get a running start here. Looking for that kitchen sink once again, but it is the Luthez press followed with a series of strikes from Kazuchika Okada. Going to continue with a stomp to the face, mirroring the strike that we saw from Hideo Itami earlier on. Now wrenching on that neck. Maneuver that Okada has used in this contest multiple times. We see the air raid crash, roll through into the neck breaker, dropping him down across the knee. Now following it up with the rolling clothesline. Pinfall attempt here now from Okada. 1, 2, and no! Hideo Itami again getting the shoulder up. It is most likely going to take a Rainmaker Lariat. Oh, and now following it up with a vertical leaping senton. Okada now might have heard my words there, heeding my words to go for the Rainmaker Lariat here on Hideo Itami. Standing switch from Itami, straight to the back. And Itami now with a tiger suplex, locking the arms behind the back of Okada and sending him backwards. Straight to the midsection from Okada, following it up with a big boot. Series of strikes from Okada. Multiple stomps. Now it's Okada going to the top rope, diving down with that elbow from the top, but unsuccessful in that exchange. Now Hideo Itami locking in the front chancery, looking for the submission victory here on Kazuchika Okada, but releasing the hold. Releasing the hold before he could get the submission victory, diving down with that knee strike. However, Hideo Itami not affording Kazuchika Okada the opening following that submission. Now following it up with a DDT and the already busted open face of Kazuchika Okada. You could think this could be the end, which Hideo Itami is certainly thinking so as well, following it up with a Hurricane Rana that sends Kazuchika Okada across the ring, now looking for the armbar. Submission victory perhaps in sight for Hideo Itami. Okada, however, looks like he's going to be able to counter out of it. A series of strikes to the face now from Okada. Sends Hideo Itami into the corner. Now, alley-oop slamming him down, hoisting him up out of that seated position and slamming him back down to the ground. European uppercut from Okada. Now these two men so fatigued at this point of the matchup, just sending any strikes that they can afford back each other's way. Spinning soul kick, but it's countered by Okada. Forearm smash, but it's countered by Itami. Kick, but it's countered by Okada. Forearm smash, but it's countered by Itami. Spinning back fist, but it's countered by Okada. And now a clothesline into the corner. We are nearing the 35-minute mark in this Raw World Championship match. And this signifies exactly what a World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania could be. These two men doing absolutely everything that it takes here tonight to walk away with the championship, as Okada diving from the top rope to the outside. Itami switching out of that power slam now sends Kazuchika Okada back inside the ring. Itami calling Okada back up to his feet here, calling him back up. Okada now receiving a German suplex. Hurricane Rana to follow it up. And at 35 minutes in this match, what will it take to put down one of these two men for the pinfall? Okada now rolling clothesline to an unsuspecting Hideo Itami, who was looking for the spinning back fist. Pinfall, one, a kick out at one from Hideo Itami. Now Okada is furious at that stomp to Itami. Series of stomps to the face with wrist control from Okada. And you know, if he's looking for wrist control, he's got to be looking for the Rainmaker clothesline. It appears that that's what he's looking for right here. Rainmaker lariat taking down Hideo Itami. Pinfall attempt as he drags him away from the ropes. And now the count 1, 2, and 3. Kazuchika Okada. Gruesome contest at over 35 minutes. Retaining the Raw World Heavyweight Championship here tonight, despite an aggressive, vicious Hideo Itami, who was doing everything in his power to walk away with the title here tonight. But Okada, so resilient, so reluctant to part ways with the championship that he has secured for 106 days, will continue to hold on to that championship as it is rebranded in the transition from Monday Night Raw to WWE Japan. Kazuchika Okada will now be crowned the first ever IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in Universe Mode history, and his 106-day championship reign will continue on past WrestleMania as the Rainmaker is victorious tonight.